right, kids, I'm going to show you how to make a perfectly symmetrical bug drawing. This is my example. It was a butterfly. I did it with oil pastel and then I ran it through the laminator, and some of those spots kind of got smeared, which made me kind of sad. So I'm going to make another example with you. I'm going to do that anyway for the demonstration. But here was a butterfly that I had made. The 4 bugs I'm going to have you choose from are a bee, although my bee body looks a little long and skinny, ends up looking maybe more like a wasp or a hornet or something. And then I have a ladybug, a butterfly, and a beetle. The really cool thing about the beetle is that the spots on the beetle can look like anything you want. They could be like geometric shapes like squares, rectangles, triangles. They could be pointy like flames, or they can kind of look rounded like mine do, like an ink spot or something. So the first key in doing your bug drawing is to grab just a blank white sheet of paper. It can be a square or a rectangle. And then you're going to fold it in half. Now, I suppose if you want a really tall, skinny bug, you could fold it like hot dog style, where it makes a long rectangle. I'm going to go with a hamburger. I know it doesn't look anything like a hamburger, but a hamburger and hot dog are kind of related. One's skinny, one's wide. It works well enough for me. All right, so I folded my paper in half and then open it up. Now we are going to do, my hands are kind of dirty. They're probably getting blue on this paper. We are going to do a pencil transfer. So in a pencil transfer, you basically just draw on one side of the paper with really, really dark lines. You fold it in half so that those pencil lines touch face to face with the blank side. Rub really hard on the back with a hard plastic object like a marker or a glue stick. And then when you open it up, it will be a perfectly symmetrical image. So basically what we are going to do now is we are just going to draw half of one of these bugs, okay? So like I always start with the body of these bugs, be it the bee or the ladybug or the beetle. I start with the body. For the beetle, I'll add on the head then, and then I'll start adding legs. For the butterfly, I add the body. I do the big outline of the wings. I'll add the border, the raindrop shapes, and then I'll start adding those lines and dots. For the bee, I do the body. Then I add on these wings. I add like the veins in the wings, or I think it's actually kind of like a skeletal structure, even though it looks like veins on a leaf. Then I will add the legs and the patterns. For the ladybug, obviously we start with the body. Then we'll add these like kind of curvy legs with the little hooks at the end, and then we'll add the spots. And I think that pretty much covers it. So based on whichever bug you want to draw, like I said, just start with the body. Actually, you know what? I'm going to do 2 separate drawings, I've decided. I'm going to do one that is kind of like a bee ladybug or a bee butterfly body to start, and then I'll do one that's more like the beetle-esque drawing. Okay, I've now folded 2 papers in half because I've decided to do 2 drawings. So the first one I'm going to start is going to be the bee or the butterfly. I think I'm actually going to do a bee because I already had a butterfly on there. So right on the left of my fold, I'm going to draw half of the bee's body, just as you see in this drawing here, okay? The bee's head is kind of shaped more pointy at the nose, so it tends to be shaped more like kind of like a raindrop shape or a teardrop. And then we have the body of the bee here, or I guess this is called the thorax maybe, and then the abdomen. Don't quote me on that one, but it's been a long time since I've studied bugs. I love science, I just don't use it all the time. Okay, so we have the head, middle body, lower body, we'll call it. Then we're going to add on the wings. So for the bee's wings, I want these to stretch all the way over to the side of the paper to be very large. So both the top of the wing is going to start from here. It's going to span all the way across the page, come back in here, and then the lower part of the wing is going to sit like here, like that. Okay, so both of the wing sections are going to only touch this middle section of body. Okay, if you were doing the butterfly, you'd want the top part of the wing to touch the middle section, and the lower part of the wing would touch more the lower section of the body as well. It'd be more shaped like a raindrop, whereas the top part of the wing is shaped kind of like a trapezoid, I guess. Okay, so bees, the next thing we're going to do, let me darken these lines so you can see these a little bit better. So I drew my wings. Now I'm going to draw some legs. So I'm going to have a little bee leg going forward, and then his leg is going to go out. He's going to have a little foot. These back legs are going to go back and then back again. The foot's going to go out. The bee gets an upside down raindrop for an eye, an antenna. I'm going to draw some lines in the wing as if I was drawing kind of like veins in a leaf. Make sure when you're drawing these lines that they are very nice and neat. that they're not like, ending short and just like sitting in there or going past the edge. Make sure they're starting and stopping in another line. You know what, I'm just going to automatically draw these in dark because I know these lines are going where I want to put them. So I'm going to start from this point while I'm adding detail, just adding things darker. The darker your pencil lines are, the easier they're going to transfer with the pencil transfer. You know what, I might actually pause you guys while I get the rest of this bee drawn out because I feel like adding the stripes is all pretty basic. I'm going to go ahead and add the stinger really quickly. Now all I need to add is stripes and veins on the wings. A real quick tidbit. If you would like to draw the beetle or the ladybug, I suggest starting with a really big half circle. For the ladybug, you would just start by drawing like the pinchers and antenna at the top, but for the beetle, you're actually going to add on kind of like a trapezoid shaped head, like right up here. And then for both bugs, ladybug and beetle, you'll kind of cut out a little V at the side of their body. For the beetle, you'll just leave this space open, but for the ladybug, you would draw a line across here. Can you see how she has like the line across, distinguishing like the head and the body? And then you start adding on the legs. Both of their legs kind of start with kind of a wavy oval shape. The ladybug's, like her first two legs come right out of this crevice, where the beetles, they're a little bit more spread out. Then the beetle has like kind of like these little suction cup feet. The ladybug has more like hooks at her foot. Okay. For the beetle, I'm going to do a pincher and an eye. Now, my favorite thing about the beetle, I mean, with the ladybug, I feel like you guys all understand how to do spots. But with the beetle, what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw in some crazy markings on his back, like super crazy. They could look like anything. So I'm going to start off with this kind of like geometric looking spiky shape. It looks like nothing I've ever seen, really. And then I'm going to do some more spiky shapes. So the one I had on here, I did some like very round, curvy kind of shapes. On this one, I'm going to do nothing round at all. I'm going to do only straight lines and kind of like just these crazy, wacky shapes. I'm even going to maybe have them like get really close to one another, where they sort of interact almost like they're all like almost touching. Plate tectonics or something, plates shifting. I don't know what I'm doing. Okay, anyway, I just thought it would look cool to do a different design than I did on the last one. All right, so there's my beetle design on this one. Here's my beetle design over here. Do what you want. I'm going to jump back real quick to my bee. Once you have the bug drawn out and you have all the details on there that you want, now is the time to transfer this half over to the other side and turn this bug looking symmetrical. If you're not familiar with symmetrical, it just means that the image is the same on both sides, okay? So I am going to fold this paper in half, making sure that my pencil lines are touching the blank side, okay? So it doesn't matter if you rub on this side or this side. Just take a hard plastic object, use the corner so that you can concentrate a lot of pressure, and then you're gonna rub real hard, like that. And I'm going to show you guys this really quickly because I didn't spend very long on this, but look how those lines transferred already. If your pencil lines are dark and you press hard on the back, those lines will most certainly transfer. So I don't want you to like spend time emailing me, be like, it's not working, the transfer's not working, okay? It's you that's not working. I'm just kidding. No, but really it is. So it takes a lot of patience. And it's going to take some strength. You might even like break a sweat while you're doing this, okay? So it's going to take some doing, some patience, some concentration. I like to crisscross the ways that I'm transferring to make sure I'm getting lines from like all directions. Those wings are pretty much done. I'm almost done transferring this. When are you done transferring? Some people ask me. You're done transferring when you can see it so well on this side that you could trace all these lines. I am going to trace these in pencil first, just to be sure that I have everything. And then if I'm done tracing it in pencil, I can see all of my lines. Then I'm going to go in and I'm going to trace my entire bug in Sharpie. And the reason I like to trace the entire bug in Sharpie is because I'm going to go in and use oil pastels. And me personally, oil pastels are a little bit thicker, and I tend to get a little bit more unruly with oil pastels than I would with, say, like colored pencils or something like that. The nice thing about oil pastels and crayons, which, by the way, honestly, I might do this in crayon this time. You could do it in oil pastels or crayon. And the thing is with crayon, I might not have it be bleeding in the laminator like it was with the oil pastels. So use any one that you want. You could use oil pastels or crayon. So I'm going to trace this side in pencil really quickly. And I think I can see all my lines well enough to trace it. There's no need to trace this dark because it's not like I'm going to be transferring this anywhere. all the transferring's done. And trust me, the transferring's the hard work on this one. When we go to start coloring our bugs, I am going to talk in depth with my students in class about the color wheel. Basically, there's some colors that mix to make, more vibrant, beautiful colors. And then there's some colors that mix together. Oh my gosh, look at that paper cut. My skin's really dry. I get paper cuts easy. When you're at school during a COVID-19 virus, you wash your hands constantly. And yeah, it's just a very dry cycle, disinfecting all the time. Okay, so anyway, long story short, I'm outlining these lightly in pencil. No reason to do dark. Oh, I was talking about color. That's what I was talking about. So when you go to start coloring, there's primary colors, there's secondary colors, and there's tertiary. Primary are red, yellow, and blue. The reason we call them primary is because there's no colors out there that mix together to make them. So there's no two colors in the world you can mix together to make red, and there's no two colors in the world you can mix together to make blue or yellow. A lot of students ask me well, how do we get those paint colors then? And I know long ago, artists would use natural resources like sunflower pollen or something like that to make yellow paint. And then, maybe I don't know, blueberries to make purple. I don't really know what they would use. Honestly, I don't even know how they make synthetic paints now. Maybe I need to look into it. But what I do know is that with the colors red, yellow, and blue, you can mix any other color out there though, even though you can't make those colors. So if you mix red and blue, do you know what color you get? You get purple or violet. By the way, purple and violet, same thing. Do you know what you get if you mix red and yellow? Orange. What about blue and yellow? Anybody know? You get green. Good. So when you mix a primary and a primary, you get a secondary. So if you're mixing red and yellow to get orange, you're mixing a primary and a primary to get a secondary. So our three secondary colors then are orange and green and purple. So if you mix a primary and a secondary, do you guys know what you get? If you mix red and violet, you get the color red-violet, which is a tertiary color. So the tertiary colors are any primary mixed with a secondary, basically, okay? Now, they can only go in the order of the color wheel, though. You can't just go in any order. And maybe I'll show you that color wheel here in just a minute. Yeah, so let me stop talking your legs off. Get the whole bug traced in Sharpie, erase all your pencil lines, and then I'll talk to you about mixing colors within the bug. Okay, I've finished tracing my bug in Sharpie marker, or any permanent black marker will work. The next thing I want to do is go in and get rid of all those gray pencil lines, because some areas on here I'm going to do in a lime green or a light pink or a yellow or orange, where you might see those lines through, and I just hate that. So I'm going to get rid of those first.